Prince and Princess of Wales are bombarded with cheers of USA and a smattering of boos at Boston Celtics basketball game, 1 hour after Black Reverend gave lecture on colonialism and racism at Earthshot launch amid Palace Race Row. Prince William and Kate Middleton attended a Boston Celtics game against the Miami Heat at the TD Garden. They were pictured sitting courtside grinning and cheering on the team, just 1 hour after the Prince's Earthshot prize launch was dragged into the Buckingham Palace Race Row. Reverend Mariama White Hammond was one of several speakers at the launch, where she made a speech that included comments on the impact of racism on climate change. Her comments came amid controversy sparked by William's own godmother Lady Susan Hussey, who was accused of making racist comments to black domestic abuse campaigner Ngozi Fulani on Tuesday night. However, William and Kate put on a brave face for the game, during which they sat alongside Boston Celtics owner W.Y.C. Grousbeck and his wife Amelia Fazzolari. The Prince and Princess of Wales joined 20,000 basketball fanatics to cheer on the Boston Celtics and promote the Earthshot Prize Awards on their first day in the city. William and Kate were brought into the TD Garden Stadium to sit courtside and watch the action alongside the Celtics owners W.Y.C. Grousbeck and Amelia Fazzolari alongside Governor-elect Maura Healey and Boston Mayor Michelle Wu. Kate and William stood for the national anthem The Star-Spangled Banner, which was belted out by a semi-finalist of Season 10 of the reality TV series The Voice. But later the royal couple were subject to small pockets of boos around the arena when they were introduced by a stadium announcer and shown on the big screen. The Boston Celtics name was inspired by the original Celtics, a well-known basketball team that had been created by Irish immigrants in New York earlier in the 20th century, before folding in 1930. Other fans in the crowd could be heard loudly cheering USA, USA when the Prince and Princess appeared on the screens in the center above the court. But the royal couple kept smiling and took photos with fans while cheering on the high-scoring game and clapping points as the packed crowd ramped up the atmosphere for the 17-time world champions took on the Miami Heat in downtown Boston. Before the game started, the Royals met members of the Celtics family, including representatives of the Boston Celtics Shamrock Foundation, which provides grassroots programming and strategic funding to local organizations serving at-risk or at-need populations. Around the arena, digital advertising boards were lit up green to promote the awards while spectators were treated to a promotional Earthshot video ahead of the game. After the second quarter with the game tied 47-all, William and Kate watched as the Celtics honored their long-standing tradition of recognizing a hero among us, heralding individuals working to positively impact the community. Ollie Perot, a 15-year-old climate activist from Easthampton, Massachusetts, got to meet the royal pair after being cheered by the local crowd for her work as a leading member of the Youth Climate Leadership Program since she was 11. She is now the founder and director of Youth Climate Action Now, committed to fighting for environmental justice, advocating for an intersectional system change, and working to get more young people involved in direct climate action. Royal aides suggested the royal couple would depart after the third quarter of the game, but they decided to stay until the end, shaking hands with fans as they left. No doubt William and Kate were hoping the evening's event, the second in their official list of engagements during their whirlwind three-day trip to Boston, would go off without a hitch, given the awkward moment that took place during the Earthshot launch just hours before the game. As the Prince and Princess Wales watched on from the wings at the event, Reverend Hammond, who founded a youth organization focused on teaching the history of the civil rights movement, said, "On this day, I invite us all to consider the legacy of colonialism and racism." She continued, "The ways it has impacted people across the world and its deep connection to the degradation of land and our planet that we are all seeking to reverse." The stories lost, the species made extinct, but also the persistence of people in the face of oppression and the fundamental dignity of all of our relations. Although no mention was made about Lady Susan Hussey, former lady-in-waiting to the Queen and William's own godmother, who was accused of making racist comments to black domestic abuse campaigner Ngozi Fulani at a Buckingham Palace event on Tuesday night, few could fail to connect the controversy with Reverend White Hammond's remarks. Having started her speech by acknowledging the ancestral lands we stand on today, the Reverend went on to express gratitude to William and Kate for choosing to host this year's Earthshot Prize in Boston. Now you all know, we are a city of many firsts. We are honored to be the first American city and the first city outside of the United Kingdom to host the Earthshot Prize, she continued. Her comments about colonialism came just months after another of William and Kate's international engagements, a March tour to the Caribbean to mark the Queen's Platinum Jubilee, was shrouded in controversy over accusations that elements of it smacked of colonialism. Ambassador Caroline Kennedy and Secretary John Kerry were both scheduled to attend the Earthshot event, only to no-show at the last minute. Kerry, the presidential envoy for climate, informed the Prince and Princess earlier today that he would sadly no longer be able to attend, but did not clarify why. Kennedy, the daughter of President John F. Kennedy who is currently serving as the U.S. ambassador to Australia, said she experienced disrupted travel plans due to the harsh weather lashing the East Coast. That weather, however, appeared to have led to very few cancellations at airports in Boston and in New York, according to FlightAware.